All right, today we are jumping into a truly incredible story. It's about migration, sure, but it's really about pure, unshakable resilience. We're going to look at the journey of Mennonite families who, back in 1925, left the relative comfort of Canada for the rugged, unknown terrain of Mexico. And the title says it all. This was The Long Road to Durango.
And this one line just sets the whole stage, doesn't it? Think about that. For these families, the modern world of steel tracks and steam engines, well, it could only take them so far. The real journey, the true test of their spirit, was about to begin right where those tracks simply ran out.
And this really shows you the stark contrast they were facing. On one side, you have the train. It's predictable, mechanical. It got them to Torreón in April 1925. But on the other side, we're talking about oxen. We're talking about heading into the complete unknown. And the only thing powering them forward was sheer willpower. This was no longer a journey of technology. It was a journey of the human heart.
So let's start right where they did, at the end of the tracks. This wasn't just about changing from a train to a wagon. No, this was a fundamental shift. This was the exact moment where the abstract dream of finding a new home became a grueling physical day-to-day reality.
I want you to just try and picture this scene at the edge of the city. This wasn't a few families setting off. This was a whole caravan, a caravan of willpower. You're seeing dozens of families, an entire community, moving like a single determined being, ready for whatever came next.
So what were they actually carrying in those wagons? Well, yeah, the practical stuff was there, furniture, tools for building, but they were carrying so much more. They had seed, literally the potential for a new harvest. They had their children and their elders, the past and the future of their people. What they were really carrying was the entire blueprint for a new world.
And this spirit is just captured perfectly in this one little exchange. A local official asks a 20-year-old named Daniel Reimer if they're going to a new town, and his response is just incredible. Not yet. First, we're going to build it. I mean, that's not just optimism, right? That is a profound statement of purpose. They weren't just moving. They were creating.
Well, that incredible determination was about to be put to the test. The road took them right into the foothills of the Sierra Madre, and this was no gentle path. It was a 9-day trial that was going to push their grit, their resolve, and their faith to the absolute limit.
This timeline gives you a real sense of how things just got harder and harder. Day 1, they start out on a rough, stony road. By day 3, it's so difficult that a child wonders if this is what the very first people had to endure. Think about that. By day 6, it's a genuine survival situation. Food and water are almost gone. This wasn't a trip, it was an ordeal.
And the physical labor was just relentless. Imagine your wagon, holding everything you own, sinking deep into the sand. The only way forward is for everyone to get out, use logs, use their own muscle, and just pry it free, inch by painful inch, only for it to happen again a few miles later.
And all of this was happening under a sun they had never experienced before. The source material says the Durango sun wasn't like the sun back in Canada. It was oppressive, it was dry and relentless, just pressing down, draining their energy and their precious water.
And on top of everything else, it was the small disasters that could become catastrophic. A cow goes lame, and suddenly you have less power to pull your wagon. A cart loses a wheel, and the entire caravan has to stop. Every single day brought a new crisis to solve. And yet, unbelievably, they kept going. So how? How did they keep going through all that? Well, their resilience came from faith and from each other. They held nightly prayers in circles. They sang hymns together every morning. But they also had letters from people who'd already made the journey, real, tangible proof that it could be done and that something good was waiting for them.
And then, on that 9th day, came the turning point. After all the dust and the struggle, they reached the end of the road. But more importantly, they saw the start of their home.
Just take a second here. Put yourself in their place. You've just been through 9 days of that ordeal. You're exhausted, you're hungry, you're thirsty. What are you even hoping to see over that final hill? What could possibly be a worthy reward for all of that?
This is what was waiting. A wide green valley, shimmering like a promise. The language is just so beautiful. You can just feel the collective sigh of relief, this wave of pure hope washing over the entire caravan at that site. But let's be totally clear about what they were actually looking at. The reality was rough, wild land. There were no buildings, no streets. They were just survey stakes hammered into the dirt. But their vision transformed it. They didn't see emptiness, they saw a second beginning. They didn't see some random plot of land, they saw their Nuevo Ideal, their new ideal.
The long road had finally ended. But in so many ways, the real work, the work of building that Nuevo Ideal, was really just beginning.
So what were their first actions? They were so simple, so practical, and so deeply human. First, you raise a tent. You establish shelter. Then, you make coffee over a fire. You provide comfort. And finally, you gather everyone together. You reaffirm community. Those are the fundamental acts of creating a home.
At that very first gathering, their bishop, Johann J. Friesen, opened his Bible, and he didn't read a passage about struggle. He read one about promise and peace. My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. What a powerful anchor, connecting their arrival to the end of their long, difficult wandering.
And after reading that passage, the bishop closed the book, looked out at his people, and said just 3 simple words: "We are here." It's so profound. It's a declaration of arrival, of survival, of presence. After thousands of miles, after every single challenge, the journey was finally, truly over.
Think about how they must have felt in that moment. They were undeniably tired, just worn down by the journey. They were hungry, but overriding all of that was hope. They had made it. They had arrived not at an ending, but at a true beginning.
And that leaves us with this final thought. Their story is a specific one, but the question it raises is universal. When you find yourself at the edge of your own map, in a place that's new and undeveloped, what is it? Is it faith? Is it community? Is it just a vision for the future? What gives us the strength to pick up the tools and start building?